So yeah, today I'm going to talk with you about Gemma. So there is a name of my talk or title. Yeah, on device fine-tune Gemma in your Flutter app. So when I was thinking about the title, I wasn't sure that it's proper title because there is a lot of specific terms that's not familiar for people from different areas, like Flutter, familiar for people from mobile development, Gemma from AI area, and so on. So I have another option of name of the talk is a building apps with generative AI capabilities without internet connection and privacy concerns. But it seems very long. So, and I didn't take final decision how to name it. That's why I have both names on my title slide. Maybe I will decide later in the end of the talk. And before we started, a couple of words about myself. My name is Sasha Denisov. Probably we already met last year or somewhere else, not only in Venice. Yeah, I work for EPAM Systems as a chief software engineer, and I'm playing a role of head of Flutter discipline there. So I'm responsible for level of expertise of Flutter people in my company. And yeah, on different projects, I'm playing different roles. Sometimes solution architect, sometimes development lead, sometimes key developer. So because EPAM is a service company, and we do a lot of different projects for different customers. And besides that, I'm Google developer expert and Flutter, Dart. Yeah, the slide a little bit outdated. Yeah, now it's correct. And Firebase. I just got this Firebase GD status recently. That's why it's a new part of the slide. And I'm organizer of Flutter Berlin community. So if you're interested in Flutter and will be in Berlin, please welcome to our meetups. Sometimes, not sometimes, always something interesting happens there. So yeah, this is QR code to my Twitter. Please don't hesitate and follow me if you don't still. And yeah, before we started, as usual, small like research of audience. Please raise your hands who knows what Flutter is. Perfecto. Yeah, and my like standard joke about this. Yeah, me too. Yeah, because I'm a speaker, I should know what I'm talking about. Yeah. And the second question. Please raise your hand who is a Flutter developer. At least one. Oh, no, I forgot. Two of us, yeah. Yeah. For people who haven't raised hand after the first question, very short description. Flutter is a mobile cross-platform framework or UI toolkit created by Google that provide opportunity to create a mobile application for iOS and Android from one code base using Dart language. As you can see, if you implement everything correct, application can be really performant and nice. Yeah, of course, it always depends on developers. And it's not all. Yeah, Flutter after 2021 supports not only iOS and Android, but desktop platforms and web as well. So you can create application for 6 platforms for one code base. And this is really nice. What else? Who knows who is it? What is his or she's name? Or his, yeah. It's Dash, yeah. So yes, Dash is a mascot of Dart language, but Dart language is mostly used for Flutter development, so a lot of people don't see the difference between Dart mascot, Flutter mascot. So it's kind of bird of Flutter. So I have no like dashes to present some of you, but I have dash head. So I will be dash for you today. Okay, I love this. Thanks. Okay, so oh, it's warm. Nice. Yeah. We are going to talk about generative AI, not about Flutter. So, but yeah, a little bit Flutter still will be in my talk, but Gemma. Gemma is generative AI type of models. So that's why let's come back to the title of the talk. So I have this title, and as I mentioned before, there are a lot of, not a lot of, few specific terms. So for example, there is Gemma, there is on-device. What does it mean, on-device machine learning? Yes, yes. There is another name of this type of AI. It's edge AI that you can launch exactly on device without any connection to cloud. And fine-tuned. Who could tell me what does it mean fine-tuned model? Like synchronization? What do you mean? Yeah, please. Yeah, more or less. When you can improve your model, providing to model additional data and train additional training using the fine-tune for specific goals, for specific purposes, using a specific date. But let's start a little bit far from here, just to be on the same page and everyone understand what we're talking about and what AI is. Who knows what it is? Let's at least, yeah, everyone, yeah, okay. And who used it on a regular basis? And this one? But you know what it is, yeah? Yes. And provocative question, what is better in your opinion? Okay. So, but what exactly is generative AI? What does it mean? How does it work? So, like recently, a few years ago, when we were talking about AI, we were talking about predictive AI. So that time it was only one type of AI. So it's a type of AI that was could be used for like regression task, classification. So you could provide the data and got result of processing this data as an answer of your question. For example, the simplest example of such type of AI, you could, for example, upload photo and request, is there a cat? Like, and got an answer. Yeah, there is a cat with probability and 95%. Like, and 5% there is a dash. I don't know, so something else. And generative AI works different way, and main purpose of generative AI is generation of something. And mostly when we're talking about generative AI, we're talking about generation of text. Yeah, and for generation of text, generative AI used large language models. Now, who knows how does it work? No, large language model without watching this slide. Yeah, please. Okay, I know. So yeah, there is a short, really high-level explanation. Model is trained on the huge amount of text generated by humanity, and after analysis of this huge amount of text, a model can understand the probability of the next word in sequence. So, and if you start the sequence, so model can put next word that has a highest probability of being in this sequence. Like at this image, it's raining ants, and the highest probability is dogs. And the next option is rain, yeah, and so on. If we know about this, who can tell me what will be next in this sequence of words? Yeah, exactly. Because depending on which text were used for training, so this data model can use. For example, if you just took all poetry in the world and trained models, so model will be able to write poems. Let's check, by the way, who is better poet, ChatGPT or Gemini? I prepared a couple of poems. Like, I will try to read it properly, but yeah, I'm not the best poems reader. Write a short poem about Venice. Venice glides on waters clear, dreams and whispers linger near, bridges arc, the sunset gleam, a floating word, a poet's dream. Okay, Gemini. In Venice, where canals do softly gleam again, and gondolas glide like a lover's dream, where ancient palazzi, grand and old, reflect in waters stories untold. A bridge of sides, a lover's lament, where whispered wishes on the wind are sent, and pigeons gather in St. Mark's Square, a city of beauty beyond compare. Okay, let's try to figure it out. Who thinks that ChatGPT is a better poet? And who is Gemini? I swear, it's just first option that they gave me. No, I didn't, prepare. Like, okay, no, I don't like this poem. Let's request one more time. And you can train models not only using poetry, you can use source code. So model not a developer at all, and has not any idea how code works, but because the model has a lot of information about already prepared code, it knows the probability of next tokens in the sequence. So it knows that next will be this one, Y10. I have no idea. The most part of, a lot of tens were in the code base that the model was trained. Yeah, but as I mentioned, be careful with generated code. Can you see that? What is this new? Yeah, I don't need to read it. And generative AI can generate different types of content, not only text. It can be images, sound, even music, videos, and so on. For example, I requested generate an image of Italy, and you can see the result. So ChatGPT understood me really straight way and generate image of seacoast, and Gemini is more schematic. Yeah, and when I see this image, I think about Game of Thrones. I don't know why. But I won't ask you who is better because it's difficult to compare. And the next time then I requested Gemini generate image of Italy, it was something similar to this. I wasn't able to repeat. because it's generative AI, every time something new. And the last, what I wanted to tell about generative AI, so it's the latest capability of generative AI is multimodality. So you can give different type of context in one request. So for example, last week I was in Pescara and made a photo in the center of city and asked, where am I? And Gemini answered me, you are on Piazza del Sacro Cuore, Pescara, Abruzzo. Here how to get there, and provided me a link to the map. So it works really nice. So welcome to Gemini era. Yeah, Gemini is not like just AI model. It's kind of new chapter in generative AI innovation. There are a lot of different types of models with different size. For example, Gemini Ultra, Gemini Pro, Gemini Nano. Ultra is the hugest one, and Nano is a very small type of Gemini that can be launched on mobile devices too. I would say it's already integrated into new Google devices, for example, Google Pixel 9. But there is one issue. For example, I wasn't able to try to play with it because I have no Google Pro 9. And it's possible to use experimental option of this model and install it. But you need Google Pixel 8 Pro or some Samsung Galaxy. My Google Pixel 8 without Pro doesn't work with this model. And the last Gemini 1.5 Pro, it's the newest one. It has really wide context window, up to 2 million tokens. On the slide, you see 1 million because the slide is a little bit outdated. I stole it from Google presentation and didn't update. But there is a really nice example how to use it. So you can upload video, then sketch, and ask question. What is the time code when this happens? And model found this time code where it happens on video. And Gemini 1.5 has two sizes, Pro and Flash. Flash is more responsive with low latency, but not such powerful as Pro. Why I gave such amount of information about Gemini if I'm going to talk about Gemma? Because I wanted to show for you this slide to compare. We're using all these capabilities. When you use it, you have some, or me, or somebody, some things that sometimes people don't like. You always need internet connection to use it. You should care about privacy of your data because you send it to the global model, and model will train on this data. And money, of course, money, because you have to pay. You have to pay for using models. You have to pay for cloud. You have to pay, and pay again. What if I don't want to pay at all? And I want to use AI without internet connection. And I would like to use some sensitive data that I don't want to share with someone. Here we are. Yeah. And here my talk is starting. It was like pre-talk. And talk will have a few chapters, and every chapter will be related to one word from title of the talk. Gemma, on device, and fine-tune. Let's start with Gemma, Gemma's story. Gemma is a different type of AI model, also created by Google, using the same approach under the hood as a Gemini, but for different purposes and a little bit different approach. So it's open models. What does it mean, open models? Is there anybody who knows what does it mean? Okay, do you know what does it mean open source? Yeah, but open source, it when we are talking about code. But AI model, it's not code. So open models, it's a kind of open source, but in AI world. It's a model that you can take, you can train, update, fine-tune, do whatever you want with this model, and then share with people as open source. So it's open models. There are not only Gemma as open models, but Gemma is an open model created by Google and the last generation. There are key Gemma features. So it's responsible by design, so with some safety already integrated to the model. It's a really nice performance. The size of Gemma is not really big. It's 2 billion parameters size of models, about 1 gigabyte, 300 megabytes, and 7 billion parameter size is about 5 gigabytes. And with such small size, it's really performant and give you nice answers sometimes. So it's extensibility and optimizations. So it's optimized for TPU, GPU, but it can work on CPU too. So it's can be launched even on very big devices, but yeah, of course, depends on how a device is powerful. Result will be different, but still, you have opportunity to launch it everywhere. And community-driven innovation. So, as I know, there is already it's too much hot. It's already 500 plus fine-tuned Gemma models that you can find in internet and use. The people already prepared it for you. And you can be next. Well, just in case, yeah. Where can I get Gemma? And you, of course, too. There is a few sources when you can take different AI models. It's Kaggle, Hugging Face, and Vertex AI. Anybody tried any of these resources? So, but Vertex AI is a part of Google Cloud. So you can go to Google Cloud Models Garden. There you can find Gemini, like a lot of different models. And as you can see, Gemma also there. You can play with it in cloud. There is even specific page for it with a specific interface. You can, for free, try and check that Gemma is good enough for you. And then you can deploy it in cloud and work with cloud as a usual model. Yeah, there is a screenshot how to use it. But if you want to launch it on device, you can go to Kaggle and download it to your device. First, you have to choose which Gemma you would like to use. 2 billion parameters or 7 billion parameters, different size and different capabilities. And after, you can upload it to your device and use. So what can you do with Gemma on your device? Gemma is text-to-text model. So you can't upload images to there. You can send only text. So you can use for like standard purposes, text generation, and then request rewrite the text or like summarize the text, create documents, whatever, even text classification. And the main benefits I already mentioned, yeah, without cloud, without internet, even without privacy concerns. How it works on device? Have you heard about TensorFlow Lite? Yeah, it's a specific framework to work with machine learning on device. You can transform your TensorFlow model or Keras model to TensorFlow Lite and launch it on device. So if you know TensorFlow Lite, forget about it, because it's no more TensorFlow Lite. Now it names Lite RT, or former TensorFlow Lite. So Google did rebranding. So now it's Lite RT, and even if you try to download model in Kaggle for TensorFlow Lite, you will find only Lite RT, and in braces will be former TensorFlow Lite. But for using model, we don't use Lite RT or TensorFlow Lite. We will use Mediapipe. It's a one framework that created on top of TensorFlow Lite. It uses TensorFlow under the hood, but more simple way. And initially, Mediapipe created just to create a pipe from different models and execute tasks from models one by one. And it can be used for face recognition, gesture recognition, like some analysis models, but it also can be used for large LLM inference and use Gemma for text generation as one of type of this model. So first, you go to Kaggle, open Gemma, find this tab Lite RT, formerly TensorFlow Lite, then choose which exactly Gemma you would like to download, because it's different types for different backend. For example, it can be Gemma for CPU or for GPU. So if your device don't have GPU, you won't be able to launch Gemma GPU there. But CPU is less powerful, but you can check what device do you have and choose proper one. And then this magic button, download. And you have a model on your laptop. And then the next step, you need to upload it somehow to your device or use on your laptop, because it's also device, yeah? Which parameters can you provide to Gemma using Mediapipe? Model path, it's obvious. You have to provide to Mediapipe where you uploaded your model, where it's stored. Maximum amount of tokens, because it's only one way to tell the model how long answer should be. Because if you implement, for example, chat, you don't want to have 1,000 tokens as an answer. Yeah? You need to a little bit limited. And top K, temperature, and random seed is parameters to control creativity of the model. Do you know, for example, what does mean temperature? It's using temperature, you can tell to model how it should be creative and how to play with probability of next word in sequence. So if temperature is 0, model will take the highest word with highest probability every time. So if you put temperature at 0 and ask Gemma the same question more than one time, you will get the same answer. But if you increase temperature, so answer will be different already. And for example, there is a code snippet how to launch model on native Android. As you probably saw on this slide with Mediapipe, I forgot to highlight it. So Mediapipe has SDK for iOS, Android, and web. So this way Android works. You initiate model, provide path, maximum amount of tokens, and blah, blah, blah. And then you can request response. It can be full response or async response. So to get answer token by token to implement animated answer, for example. But how to upload model to device? In case of Android, you can use ADB tool. So is there any Android developers? Yeah. But who don't know what is this ADB tool? No, yeah, I think Flutter developer also knows. Yeah, just to use for Android development. iOS code snippet looks absolutely the same, but language is different. It was Kotlin, there is a Swift. For iOS, you have no ADB, but you can add your model to your Xcode project, or using even just Finder on your laptop, just to take model and drop to your device. But yeah, there is no Flutter SDK at all. And when I started to do this research, I started to look for a Flutter plugin. I found this. So version is 001, but it's all code that I found in the repository. So I realized that probably this plugin is not finished yet. And so I had only one choice. I implemented my own. So now it's version 0.4.1. And if I finish new update today, it will be 4.2. So yeah, now Gemma has Flutter SDK with this plugin. And this plugin is using Mediapipe under the hood. So that's why the interface is almost the same. So you configure Gemma, and then you can request response directly or asynchronously. But it's not all that are implemented. For example, for working with instruction-tuned models that can be used for chatting, you can provide to model not only one message, but the full chat. But the Gemma's context window is not very big, so that's why you can limit your context length, how many messages in your chat you provide. Because just to understand what were you talking with model, it's not necessary to provide like all, I don't know, 100 messages. Like last 10, sometimes absolutely enough to understand what you're talking about. So these methods give opportunity to implement chats. You see, instead of string, you send iterable of messages. Yeah.
Can you explain better what is the meaning of the chat context line?
So it's how many messages you really provide to model, because Gemma don't keep context. So you need to, if you just request response, you every time request new response. And here in chat, you provide more wide context. And if you have, for example, chat and you already have 100 messages, it can be too much to fit the context window. And to increase the performance, you can limit your context window, context length to like last 10 messages.
Okay, so is the maximum length of the iterable message?
It's not maximum length. So it's just to simplify implementation of chat. You, for example, you have your full chat in your iterable of messages, but you don't need to manually take the like last few. You can analyze how many messages you will like to provide to model, because the context window size of Gemma is 4 kilobytes. Not 4 kilobytes, 4,000 tokens. Yeah, and you should be careful with this. So, and don't send to model really big amount of text. And yeah, there is example that also you can find in the plugin. So you just launch, upload model, and try to talk with it. or like you can take some code snippets from there to your project and reuse. And also implemented methods to upload model to device, not to use manually ADB or something. You can use it from your code. For debug purposes, you can load model from assets, but you can't use it in production because in case you add model to assets, the size of your final build will be too much big. And for production, you can download model once from somewhere from cloud and then use it on device. Yeah, file size doesn't matter. When I tried first to use the standard method root bundle load string, I understood it's impossible because Flutter upload all file to memory and then try to save it. For example, in Android, you have limitation which size of file you can take to memory, 1 GB. So model don't fit. That's why I implemented my own plugin to handle big files and save them. Okay. Oof. Something went wrong with clicker. And fine-tune. Fine-tuning, what is it? It's a process of updating model. As I mentioned at the beginning, you can add additional data set and train your model for specific purposes. And so, like at this scheme, you can take base model, then take fine-tuning data, fine-tune model, and you will get fine-tuned model in the end that will use your additional data. So in our case, it's Gemma. For fine-tuning, you can use, for example, Keras. It's a specific framework for work with AI. Yeah, sorry, I start to talk a bit faster because we have like less than 10 minutes to the end. And for fine-tuning of Gemma, there is a specific approach that can be used for this. It's LoRA, lower rank adaptation, that don't take as many resources as like standard fine-tuning, because it's update only a small amount of bytes and freeze the like freezing base bytes and do only additional bytes for your additional data sets. So I even generated a small image for this, like freezed model is a big base model and small one, it's a LoRA that works with this model. You can go to Google Colab, the tool that allows you to work with Keras and different frameworks for AI really easily. And for example, try this model. No, this Colab is one of them that shows how to do fine-tuning. So there is an example with additional data set of medical data. So medical data is not example of sensitive data. For example, data from hospital with like names of people who who this in this hospital, and you can't upload this data to the big models, so you can train your model using this data. And there are a lot of nice, interesting collabs in Google Colab, not only this. So there are collabs of inference, of prompting, RAG, and so on. You can go and try to play with Gemma. And one of the nice things of Mediapipe that was added to the last version of Mediapipe, one additional parameters, set LoRA path. Now you don't need to replace your model when you fine-tuned model. You don't need to replace the old model to new model. You can keep only base model there and update only a small file with only fine-tuned byte. So, for example, you upload model once, then collect more data. So fine-tune your model with this data, but not don't take the full model, but only this bytes, it's like not gigabytes, but few megabytes, and upload only them. And the last chapter, I'll try to be fast. So it's not all about Gemma. So Gemma 1 is only one Gemma model from Gemma family. Google create more Gemmas. For example, code Gemma. Gemma specifically trained on code and created for code generation. And already trained for Python, JavaScript, Java, Kotlin, C++, C#, Rust, Go. Yeah. But unfortunately, I don't see Dart there. Recurrent Gemma is Gemma trained on different approaches using Griffin. And it's a little bit bigger, but powerful than standard Gemma. PolyGemma is a multi-modal Gemma. You can upload images, not only text. But Mediapipe don't support it yet, so you can't use PolyGemma on your devices. And Gemma 2. So new generation on Gemma with 9 billion parameters and 27 billion parameters. So Gemma 2 is really nice and powerful, but there was one issue. So it's too big to be used on devices. But recently, a couple of months ago, Google announced 2 billion parameters of Gemma 2. Its size bigger than Gemma 1. It's a 2 gigabyte with half, but it's possible to upload and use it on device. And so you can go to Kaggle, find it, and use. Examples. So I don't have examples that already in production. But you, as an example, you can try to play with Gemma in AI Studio. Or you can take my example from GitHub, GenAI Fireside Chat, that I created for demonstration of integration of different type of AI. So there is Gemini, ChatGPT, and Gemma, and you can another Gemma, just talking with each other without human interaction. It's sometimes really fun. And so it looks this way because it's Flutter. You can launch everywhere, and human just ask first question, and then models just discussing without human interaction. Sometimes it's infinite loop of you are the best, like, no, thank you, no, thank you. But sometimes it's really funny conversation. And so if we able to fine-tune Gemma, so probably it will be interesting example to to ask different Gemmas to talk with each other, like to create Gemma fireside chat with Gemma, we talk with Gemma, another Gemma. Probably in the future I will implement something with this just to check how it will be. So it was a last slide. Thank you very much for your attention. There is my Twitter and LinkedIn in case you have any question when we will try to integrate Gemma to your application. So I'm always open to support. Don't hesitate to ask any question. I'm not sure that we have time for questions now. Yes, we have? Yeah, so if you have questions, yeah, please ask.